Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another Diecast Emporium review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the much-anticipated threesome of the classic construction models Caterpillar 630K Scraper Series. You're going to see a 631K, a 637K, and a 637K with a coal body attached to it. But before we get into the review of what the actual model has and details and all those fun things, I do want to provide a little bit of information on what the real machine does, because I know I have a lot of new followers and people who are genuinely interested in that. So allow me a minute or two, and we'll all get edumacated here. So essentially, scrapers are brought in after the excavators and dozers have kind of dug out and somewhat leveled the land. Their primary job is to cut and fill the site. That means removing dirt from a high area and filling it into a low area, so that you essentially have some semblance of a level ground where you can then bring in your graders and compactors and all that kind of fun stuff. But scrapers come in many different versions. They have single-engine scrapers, they have twin-engine scrapers, they have coal scrapers. All of those three you will see today. They also come in a pull pan, which essentially you can pull behind like a Challenger tractor or a John Deere tractor. And there's also an elevating scraper, but you don't see too much of those anymore. So the front portion of the machine, this portion, obviously, that is what's called the tractor. It has that little gooseneck mechanism in here that allows the tractor to move and turn on a dime and have great articulation motion. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, there's no steering on the wheels. The only steering is done through the articulation point. And the rear part of the scraper is called the actual scraper mechanism itself. So you have the wheel, tractor, scraper. There you go. Also, something I want to show you, and I have it sitting over here out of view, is Caterpillar developed this technique a few decades ago. It is called the push-pull method, and essentially what that is larger scrapers who are equipped with a pin and lock system, they can push the one in front, and once his bowl is full, he will then pull along the scraper that's behind him. Usually this is used to provide additional horsepower or to pull scrapers out should they get stuck in material. But the overall design and overall reasoning for this is to save money, save time, and increase efficiency. So, onward with the model review. So, these are much, much smaller than the 650 series that was released by CCM only a few months ago. These are the 30 series, not the 50 series. So for the 631K, which is the one you'll be looking at, there were only 550 of those made. For the 637K, there were 800 of those made. For the 637K coal bowl, try and say that 10 times fast, or even once if you're inebriated, there were 500 of those made. So some of the details that you'll see, obviously you'll notice that it has an opening door with an extreme high level of detailing inside the cab, including operators' controls and the like. It also has, I don't know how else to describe it, but there's a different kind of material they use for the actual rubber on the tires. I've never seen this material before. It's not a rubber, it's not a plastic, but it makes it look like it's not showroom new, and I think it looks really, really good. Let's see. Going over the price point, the 631K pictured in front of you retails for $280. The 637 standard, $290. And the 637 coal bowl, $310. These are all prices, of course, MSRP and before shipping is added. Why are these models priced so high? Why does CCM continue to price their models so high? There's a lot of different reasons for that. Number one, the models are worth it. A lot of us collectors who never plan on selling our collection, we buy them because we love them. They're very well-made representations of the real machine. However, there are other people out there, particularly people on eBay, who buy several of these and use them as an investment by sitting on them and waiting for them to sell out directly from CCM and then adding probably a couple more zeros to the end of the price tag. So you have that reason as well. But also, they're just a great model. I mean, there's no other way around it. Why go out and buy, why go out and buy a standard scraper? I'll use the one I have off here as a side, just as an example. Not saying that this is a bad model, just using it as an example. But why pay, $120 for a 627K Tonkin Replicas scraper when, for a little bit more than that, your next paycheck, whatever, you got a little bit of money set aside, you can buy one of these and it just blows it out of the water. So, enough of me rambling. Other details, you got your safety and warning labels, mirrors. You have your fully functioning apron and ejector, detailed engine, which you'll see in a minute because that pops open. You've already seen the opening cab, lights, and intricate hydraulic lines, and so much more. So on the 637, here are the wheels. They look great. The fender wells are plastic, but the color match is great. Inside the cab, forgive my camera, I'm doing this at an angle. I'm not sure if this is even picking it up. But you have your pedals on the floor, your steering wheel, as well as your controls on the offset to the right, and your operator's chair. Printed in white is the Caterpillar name on the seat back. On top you have your horn, an antenna, and a warning light. Coming to the front, you have a great Caterpillar view here. Caterpillar grill, cat logo here. You have a bunch of idiot warning labels here, or idiot lines. Then by popping this open, you can see a very detailed metal, rubber, plastic, composite engine and other details inside. And that just pushes back down into place. Great range of articulation across the pivot point. The articulation joint has an amazing range of motion. The best I have seen on any scraper. The hydraulic lines, you can physically see where they go, where they connect to, where they start, and where they end. You have your connecting points in silver, your lines in black. They are rubber. All of your hand and grab rails that are on the passenger side of this are metal. Coming over here, look at the rear of the scraper. So although not intended to be a push-pull scraper at this size, this is your push block. So if this machine got bogged down, you can get a push dozer, and this little piece of material right here is where the dozer blade would push up against and hopefully get this machine out of peril. Up here you have etched, and it's actually, you can feel it, walking surfaces for what I would assume would be to do some maintenance. And here's the best part. Right up on top of here, I hope my camera's picking this up. That is perforated all the way through. That is not a decal, that is not a sticker. Each individual hole on here has been etched through. Functionality, great. There is the Boal down. Here is your apron up. And your apron down. Your ejector, of course. Comes out like that with one silver ram right there. And again, those new to the channel, that's the ejector is actually what pushes the material out of the bowl to level it out. So essentially there's not a whole lot of difference on these three scrapers. So we got the main one out of the way. Next one is the 637. Like I said, this is a bigger scraper. Difference here being, other than the size, that it has the push-pull mechanism on it. So let's see how that works. So here is a 620, what is this, a 627? So usually this would not be particularly realistic, but let's say our buddy here in the 637 has got himself stuck in a cut somewhere. He can have Mr. Tonkin Replicas come on and hook on to his bar right there and push him out. I don't have a whole lot of table space here, but as you get the point. You can see that. You can see how they both hook on and hook off. So there you go. That might even be another reason why to buy 2 of the push-pull scrapers. So besides the push-pull mechanism, you have your twin engine, which is detailed through here. A lot of different components and seen through. Most of it molded in die-cast metal. Here you have some more hydraulic lines. Now this particular hydraulic line I thought was broken, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me where it went. This is actually just a vent line, so all it does is just go down through here and go down back behind the pan, and that was verified through CCM. I called them and said, help me out here, where does this line go? And they told me that it goes to nothing. It's simply a venting line. So there's the 637. Now, 637K, also a twin engine scraper, but not a push-pull. This one has a very specific job to do, and that is to move coal. So here's your big square body, your coal bowl, if you will. The ejector on here is much, much larger, much, much beefier. And the apron as well is also much, much bigger to accommodate the harder materials such as coal. So this would be a very specialized piece of equipment. So for you mining fans out there who want a coal scraper, who perhaps missed out on the 657 models of yesteryear, then this could be a good option for you. All 3 of these are just fantastic models. Out of the 3, though, surprisingly, you may have thought I would have selected the 637K push-pull, but for whatever reason, my heart takes the 631K. I really love it. Looks great. It's typically the size scraper you would see around most residential areas or areas that are experiencing some heavy construction work. All of them have great functionality, and like I said, the prices go up just a little bit as the model sizes increase. All of them currently at the filming of this video, so make sure you take a glance at the date that this video was published, are currently available from the CCM website. So go ahead and check them out there. If they get sold out, then definitely check out Buffalo Road Imports, the Construction Diecast store, and Roy Ferguson Sales. I'm sure they will be able to accommodate your needs or steer you, no pun intended, in the right direction as to where to get these. So the next release scheduled for CCM in the 1/48 scale is the 6015B mass excavator or shovel, whatever you want to call it. That is currently on the water in a container ship, and it's scheduled to arrive here in the United States in the 1st or 2nd week of June. So once that arrives, typically it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get through customs and then get to CCM, and then CCM to start shipping it out to its customers. So if you have pre-ordered that, I highly encourage you to pay for it if you haven't already, because the models are shipped in the order in which they receive payment. And there's no doubt in my mind that just like the 620 that was released a couple years ago, excuse me, the 6015B will be a fantastic brother to that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please mention it in the comments section below. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Be safe. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.